This Halloween, party with your favorite monsters during Halloween Horror Nights.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fog with Wolfman Rob. Appreciate you coming over here to hang out with me, man. And we're at that wonderful, wonderful time of the year where Halloween Horror Nights it's practically here, man. But there have been two significantly big changes, if you ask me, to some things over there at HHN Orlando, man. So we're going to talk about that. But like I said, we're at that wonderful time, man. Houses have been announced, scare zones have been announced, street experiences have been announced, freaking shows have been announced. Merch drops, food booths popping up, that Firefly Funhouse fun booth. Oh, fantastic. Can't wait to be there and see what kind of foods they got. That's what we're waiting on, honestly. It's just for the foods to be revealed, to see, the menus on the board and just zooming into those things, seeing what kind of food do we got and all that kind of stuff, man. So it is a wonderful time right now and all that. But like I mentioned, there are two pretty big changes to this year's event, two things that we are very used to with Stay and Scream and with the Tribute Store. Both are still there. Both are still options. Both are still possibilities for you and all that stuff. I do talk with my hands. Deal with it. But let's go ahead and jump into the Stay and Scream aspect. This is from their website. Reading this straight from their website. When I search Stay and Scream, it says, stay the day and be one of the first in at night. New in 2025. So they even tell you it's new on their website. When you arrive at the park starting at 3 p.m., you'll get a wristband and at one of the check-in locations listed below. After that, instead of being in one designated area, you'll be free to explore the park to catch a ride or a show, grab a bite, shop for some merch, or simply take in the sights before the event begins. Then, starting at 4 p.m., you can enter select haunted house queues with a wristband. That's the big change. Well, that, not really, because you couldn't. It's hard to get to rides and all that stuff because you were in a designated area before. But the designated check-in stations are located at Lombard's Seafood Grill, Illumination's Minion Cafe, and I was about to flip all of y'all off the way I was doing that. That was dumb. But and then Illumination's Villain Con Minion Blast. So all kind of right there. Interesting. Minion Villain Con. Okay. So there is. Okay. Anyway, so those are the three designated areas, which is definitely different from last year, because there used to be there used to be extra designated areas in the park and all that stuff. So that is definitely different. That's very interesting that two of them are minions. Okay. But that's just check-in and all that stuff. But nonetheless, that is very different. So before with like Stay and Scream, you get there, you check in, all that stuff. They scan your HHN pass. You go to certain areas and you can be like, just get in line right here and just stay in that line, and all that stuff. Let the sun beat down on you, or God forbid it's raining or something like that. That could happen. But now you're like free to roam, going on this ride, go on that ride, all that stuff. And then around 4 p.m., come back, as it says here, 4 p.m., you get to enter select haunted house queue. So they're still going to have select haunted houses and all that stuff that you can go through. It sounds like they're probably going to pick and choose which ones you can go to. Like this year, probably Terrifier is going to be extremely popular. So a lot of people are going to want to run straight to that one and all that. So we'll see which houses they eventually have that. And that information will come out sooner to the event's beginning, or people will start talking about it online and all that stuff. But that's a big change, man. That's something that's very interesting, that now we can kind of just go ahead and get in line for a house, right? So with those super popular, options and all that stuff, you might want to hurry up and go over there and stand in that line, because it's normally like a lot of walking to get over to this area and all that stuff, which is another thing to really, jump into and talk about with, construction that's going on and all that stuff. Where can you stay and scream and stand at, and how is that going to affect certain queues you go through and all that? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on this, we have to speculate and talk about, man. But look for that, man. So 3 p.m., get a wristband. 4 p.m., you can enter select haunted house queues with a wristband. So do they give you another wristband? Is the wristband themed to the house that you're going to? Because if it is, That's free merch. That's free merch right there. Probably not, but at the same time, it might say HHN on it or something like that. So still somewhat kind of cool free merch, man. So that's cool right there. So that's one of the big changes coming this year with Stay and Scream. It's a big thing for everybody every year. Get in there early and all that stuff and getting, situation, which part you want to go to. The other big change that's coming this year is for the Tribute Store. Tribute Store, big deal for people who want to buy merch and all that stuff. And we've seen some of the merch already. It looks fantastically awesome and all that. And it's always been in New York. It's right there on the corner. You go to New York, you go past Jimmy Fallon a little bit. It's right there. You see it. You see the awesome facade to it and all that stuff. It's like one of the big things you look forward to every year. This year it is changing locations, which I believe has to do with the construction that's going on right now with Hollywood's Rip Ride Rocket, which is like right there. So think about it, like the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket's right here, Tribute Store's right here. That's hard to do with reverse angles, but still, nonetheless. So they're right there next to each other. And there's this big wall up right now because Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket is being rethemed. It's being taken over. There's a lot of construction going on around it. And that's normally where two queues go for HHN houses. And there's a third one. You go under it as well for one of the houses there. So that's going to probably affect 3 queue lines that you walk through. We'll see. Again, that's something else that's going to be different this year probably, is to see how the construction around Rip Ride Rocket will affect those lines. Like I would assume 4, right? Because there's another one on the other side. So it might affect 4 lines now that I think about it. Holy crap. That's something to be looking at. That's something to really think about and be interested to see how that's all going to play out, because I think they fixed it last year with the way they had all the queue lines, walking set up and all that stuff. Love that they put 2 houses in the way back next to each other where you can just come out of one house, go to the other one. That was perfect. So now, that's going to be a change. We got to see how that all works out with the construction around Rip Ride Rocket. Real quick, Rip Ride Rocket's final rides will be, as I release this episode, this weekend. So if you're in Orlando or going to Orlando, hurry up and get over there and try to get on that ride if you want to get on that ride one last time, and all that good stuff, man. But yes, the Tribute Store is moving from there, down, still in New York. It's going to be moving down beginning, and this is posted by freaks at HHN who are cool people. Met them at the park before. They were awesome, cool stuff like that. They posted this, and it's been posted all over the world. This is like official information. So beginning August 26th at Universal Orlando Resort, guests can step inside the remains of the abandoned Museum of Antiquities in this year's all-new Halloween Horror Nights Tribute Store, which will take over the Sahara Traders store and the arcade in the New York area of Universal Studios, Florida. Guests will enter the highly themed retail space through the main atrium of the museum and venture into the exhibit halls where an ancient evil was once unleashed and may still be lurking in the shadows while shopping for the latest Halloween Horror Nights merch. So there's still going to be a theming around it and all this stuff. I think I've been in the Museum of Antiquities once, maybe. I don't remember the huge, like the shopping area over there and all that stuff. I don't remember how big it is. The arcade I went through once as well. I feel like I can't remember. Like, this is one of those things I got to see in person to fully gauge what it is. This is a huge change because normally the tribute store is huge. It's got all these separate areas themed towards, separate events on we're used to in the past. It had like separate IPs and all that stuff. Lately, it's been one theme throughout the whole tribute store. It's still going to have a theme and all that stuff, but I got to see how this, unfolds and all that stuff. Universal normally does like a tour video before it goes and all that stuff. But that's the other big change to be looking for. So still on New York, a little bit further down. So it was like at the end section. Now it's going to move over here. It's going to hop over the Mummy. The Mummy ride's still there. It's going to hop over the Mummy and be in that area with the arcade and all that stuff. So, and facade, I mean, how's the facade going to work? Are they going to do it outside? I don't know. I have no idea. I've really, honestly, never really paid much attention to the arcade at all. And I really haven't been in that shopping place in a while, because this is like the Mummy area over here, the Mummy store and all that stuff. I think we went in there one year during Halloween Horror Nights Light when they, had to do certain things. I can't remember. I feel like they did something at some point in time where they themed it. They definitely themed it. I remember that for sure because I took a picture with the creature outside and all that stuff. Like, they definitely themed that area before. And that's probably the one time I've been in there. And there was like a coffin inside where he did the whole thing and all that good stuff. But, there's just all kinds of things to kind of, remember this year with all kinds of changes. We got the tribute store changing. We've got Stay and Stream changing. We've got possibly 4 queue lines now being changed with the construction over there at Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. So all kinds of stuff to think about and look forward to and look into for going into this year's event. But again, this is August 26th. The tribute store opens August 26th. That's 2 days before the Premium Scream Night on August 28th, and then the event officially starts on August 29th over there in Orlando, man. So we are very close to the event officially starting. 26, I assume this is team members preview and Universal Orlando annual pass holder preview and all that stuff, but we're getting close, man. I'm so excited and amped and all that stuff. I just bought some new luggage to carry my clothes and good stuff over there for the trip and all that stuff. We're getting close to my trip as well, so I can't wait for that. I wait for that every single year. Happy to see that. Can't wait to experience all these things, man. But that is the update for Halloween Horror Nights 34 over there in Orlando, man. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like, subscribe, share, help me out over here and all that good stuff. I appreciate you always hanging out with me in the fog, and we'll be back with more fun